Descent into darkness. Cold metal met bruised skin as Rhys and Lyra were thrown unceremoniously into their new prison. The harsh thud of their landing was immediately followed by the echoing clang of a large door, sealing shut behind them. Pain throbbed through their bodies as they struggled to rise, their vision blurred and their heads swimming from their recent interrogations. But it was the pervasive sense of hopelessness that weighed heaviest on their souls. They found themselves in a massive, dimly lit holding area. It stretched beyond the boundaries of their immediate vision, with high walls that seemed to swallow up what little light existed. Vague shapes moved around in the semi-darkness, some slumped against the walls, others huddled in groups. There was a cacophony of groans, hushed whispers, and muted sobs, occasionally drowned out by the sharp, distant sound of a guard's command. In the dimness, Rhys managed to catch Lyra's eye. Both spies, they'd faced countless challenges together, but nothing quite like this. Lyra's usually fierce eyes held an unfamiliar glint of vulnerability. He reached out and grasped her hand, squeezing it firmly as if to convey a silent promise that they would find a way out of this mess.
Where are we?
Lyra's voice barely rose above a whisper, yet it broke the eerie silence that had settled around them.
Some sort of holding area,
Rhys whispered back, squinting to try and make out their surroundings better.
It's massive. Look.
Following his gaze, Lyra's eyes widened as they traced the vast expanse of the prison. Multi-leveled platforms, interconnected by a series of rickety bridges and ladders, formed the complex's infrastructure. All around them, various alien races, some humanoid, others not, were restrained by the same fate. One particular group caught Rhys's attention. 4 beings, their bodies covered in bioluminescent scales that glowed faintly in the dark, sat in a circle. They were communicating in a series of melodic tones, their heads tilted backward and their mouths open wide. Lyra's gaze settled on another trio, tall, lithe creatures with feathered wings that seemed too fragile for flight, their plumage dulled and dirtied by captivity.
It's like a menagerie of the galaxy's misfortunes,
Lyra whispered, a hint of anger in her voice. Rhys nodded, taking in the sheer diversity of species imprisoned alongside them.
We don't even recognize half these races. How far and wide have the Drac spread their tyranny?
As they navigated their way deeper into the prison, trying to find a less conspicuous spot to recuperate and plan, an old being approached them. Its fur, once probably a rich shade of blue, was now matted and dirty. Its eyes, milky with age, still held a spark of curiosity.
"You're new here,"
it rasped.
"Humans, from the look of it. You're far from home."
Rhys, ever the diplomat, replied,
It seems we've taken a wrong turn. And who might you be?
The creature chuckled, a low, gravelly sound.
"Name's Taran, and you might say I'm a bit of a historian in this wretched place. I've been here long enough at least. If you've questions about your new neighbours, I might be able to help."
Lyra, her gaze never straying from Taran, whispered to Rhys.
Maybe he knows a way out, or at least something that can help us.
Rhys nodded in agreement, ready to grasp any thread of hope. And as the trio settled into a shadowy corner, the tales of countless races and worlds, all subjugated by the Drac, began to unfold. Stories of struggle. Taran's tales seemed endless, each one more harrowing than the last. As hours slipped by, a crowd had gathered around the trio. In the darkness, captive faces illuminated by the sporadic glow of bioluminescent beings listened intently. This assembly, it seemed, sought solace in shared experiences and the whispered dreams of freedom. One story in particular caught Lyra's attention. It was the account of Malevolent, a tall, slender creature with an iridescent exoskeleton emanating a soft cyan glow.
"We were a peaceful society,"
Malevolent began, his voice resonating with a haunting echo.
"The Astrala, living in harmony with our world's delicate ecosystem. But the Drac saw potential in our planet's unique flora. They sought to harvest it, irrespective of the damage they caused."
As Malevolent spoke, his exoskeleton shifted in hue, mirroring the spectrum of emotions he went through, from the serene blues of peaceful memories to the angry reds of invasion and conflict.
"They overwhelmed us, not with brute strength, but with their sheer numbers. We resisted,"
Malon continued, his color now a fierce orange.
"But one by one our cities fell, our forests burned, and our people, enslaved.
Moved by the tale, a feathered creature, Lithia of the Varan species, decided to share her story next. She spoke of vast skies and open air and how her people once soared without constraints. But then the Drac came, shrouding their world in darkness and caging them, literally and metaphorically. Each story held a pattern, a peaceful world, the arrival of the Drac, resistance, and eventual capture or subjugation. Yet, amid the melancholic tales, threads of hope were woven. Many spoke of resistances that still existed, of hidden bases and guerrilla warfare. Amid the stories, Lyra and Rhys could sense an opportunity. They exchanged glances, realizing that this prison, this dark, sorrowful place, might just be the nexus of alliances they had been searching for. Rhys took a deep breath and spoke up.
Each of us here has a common enemy. The Drac have taken our freedom, our homes, and for some, even our families. But look around you. We are a formidable force combined. With the knowledge and experiences we share, we can mount a resistance like no other.
A murmur of agreement spread through the crowd. Lithia fluttered her diminished wings.
But how do you propose we do that, human? We are all prisoners here. The Drac's security measures are unparalleled.
Before Rhys could respond, a voice interrupted from the back.
Not entirely unparalleled.
All eyes turned to a cloaked figure stepping into the dim light. As the hood fell back, it revealed an aged face, scarred and weathered, but with bright, calculating eyes.
I am Arlon, once a prince of the Denari Empire,
he declared, his voice tinged with both pride and sorrow.
My people fell, but I led a rebellion and many still pledge loyalty to me. If we get out, I can rally them, but escape is no small feat.
Rhys and Lyra shared a look of intrigue. Here, in the bowels of the galaxy, they'd stumbled upon a potential ally, someone with resources and influence.
Then let's start there.
Lyra said determinedly.
Let's find a way out and bring our stories, our strengths back to our worlds. Let's turn this prison into the first step of our collective fight back.
A hushed wave of whispered agreement spread through the assembled captives. In the face of adversity, the spark of rebellion was lit. A glimmer in the gloom. The vast chamber's melancholic atmosphere changed as Rhys, Lyra, Prince Arlon, and Lithia huddled in a shadowed corner, away from prying eyes. Though these talks were hushed and hurried, every word echoed with hope and urgency.
The first moonrise.
Lithia whispered, her voice steady.
That's our window. There's a guard shift then. They become complacent, assuming we're all resigned to our fate.
Arlen looked intently at Rhys. But escaping this chamber is only the first step. How do we get past the guards and the security systems? Rhys sighed.
That's the challenge. If our stealth ship is still intact. If we can just reach the hangar.
It's undamaged.
A soft voice from behind them interjected. Startled, they turned to see a guard, his uniform partially hidden beneath a cloak. His features were strikingly similar to Arlen's.
Draven?
Arlen whispered in surprise. The guard nodded.
They captured me before the invasion on our planet, forcing me to serve them by threatening our family. When I saw you, I knew we had a chance.
The reunion was touching, but time was of the essence.
Can you guide us to the stealth ship?
Rhys inquired, hope glinting in his eyes. Draven nodded.
During the third moonrise, I'll be on duty near this chamber. I can guide you through the less guarded paths.
Lyra interjected.
We won't leave you behind.
Draven looked resolute.
No, my place is here for now. Once you're out, I'll work from inside. I'll create chaos with the ship's systems and let the other prisoners out. While they try and contain the riot, you should be able to slip away undetected.
As the group began to draft a plan, Rhys took a moment to reflect.
Our stealth ship only has seats for 2, but we have extra storage space to fit 2 more people. It's going to be tight. Once we're out, we can jump to hyperspace. The Drac ships will be too slow to catch us.
Lithia, with her knowledge of the ship's systems, would be invaluable, and Arlen's tactical prowess was irreplaceable. They would join Rhys and Lyra and attempt an escape. Their escape wouldn't just be a personal liberation, it'd be a beacon of hope for all the races imprisoned there. In the days that followed, every move was measured. Every conversation weighed for importance. The stakes were clear. If they were discovered, retribution would be brutal. Yet even in the weight of impending escape, An alliance was forming. The tales of the Federation that Reese and Lyra shared gave Arlen and Lithia a broader perspective. Perhaps if they managed to flee, they can add their strength and numbers to the Federation. It could present a formidable challenge to the Drac. The moon cycles of the prison ship continued, bringing them closer to their chance. The weight of anticipation was palpable, but amid the fear and uncertainty, there was a budding hope. The thought of flying free, of reigniting the fires of resistance, spurred them on. The Drac might have captured them, but they would never break their spirit. Testing the waters. On the other side of the galaxy, the enormity of space seemed both confounding and fascinating. Floating against the dark void, the Galactic Council's massive space station stood as a testament to their resolve and unity. Not far from it, a small vessel, its sleek hull reflecting the distant stars, drifted. This was the Vigilant, captained by the resilient Captain Hale. Hale stood on the bridge, surrounded by the hum of consoles and the subdued chatter of the crew. The ship's first mission after the catastrophic encounter with the Drac was of paramount importance. On a platform, bathed in soft blue light, was the gravimetric sensor, a piece of Halian technology with potential capabilities still not fully understood by the Federation.
"Initiate the sensor,"
commanded Captain Hale, his voice reflecting a mix of anticipation and apprehension. A crew member hesitated for a split second, before nodding and activating the device. The device whirred, its sound resonating with the heartbeat of everyone on board. All eyes darted to the main screen. Suddenly, the calm of the room was shattered as 4 distinct dots appeared on the screen. The sensor had detected something.
"Battle stations."
Hale shouted. The crew, trained for moments like these, immediately jumped into action. As alarms echoed throughout the ship, Hale opened communications to Zorvan's vessel, still stationed near the Galactic Council.
"We have 4 contacts, Zorvan."
Hale said, urgency evident in his voice.
"I'm sending you the live feed. Engage Alpha and Omega drones. I'll take the other 2.
The feed showed the outlines of the drones, their design eerily organic, but distinctly Drac in nature. Captain Hale steered the Vigilant towards the closest Drac drone. With practiced precision, he locked onto the target and fired. Bright beams of energy erupted from the ship's cannons, striking the drone and obliterating it into a shower of debris. Not far, Zorvan's vessel danced through space, swiftly closing the gap to its target. The ship unleashed a salvo of projectiles, impacting and shattering the Alpha drone. The remnants of the once threatening enemy scattered, blending with the stars. But victory was not yet complete. The other 2 drones, sensing the impending danger, began to accelerate, attempting to escape the Federation's wrath.
"Track their trajectory. We can't let them escape."
Hale ordered. The Vigilant lurched forward, its engines roaring to life as it pursued the fleeing adversaries. Speed was on their side, and they were gaining. Zorvan's voice crackled over the comms.
"They're fast, but not fast enough. We have them."
Both Federation ships closed in, and within moments, the escaping drones met the same fate as their counterparts, reduced to debris amidst the vast cosmos. On the bridge of the Vigilant, Captain Hale let out a deep breath, his hands slightly trembling as the weight of the moment settled in.
"That was close,"
he remarked, the gravity of their discovery not lost on him.
"This is what we're up against, but now we have a fighting chance."
Zorvan's face appeared on the screen. His eyes, fierce with determination, looked straight at Hale.
"Now we know the sensor works. Let's mass-produce these and hunt every last drone down."
Hale nodded in agreement.
"The era of the Drac remaining hidden ends now."
Zorvan's grin was almost predatory.
"It will be my pleasure,"
he declared. The parting thought was clear. The Drac had awoken a united, technologically advanced, and determined enemy. The Federation was ready to strike back.